Hello, love. So excited to be back with you. So today we have Coach Jenn with us. I'm so excited. And we are going to talk all about the power of the pause. And I'm really excited. This year I'm sharing my take on weight loss, movement, thinking, mindset, intuitive eating, all the things this year. I've learned a lot in my journey. and this year I'm going to be 52 and I was on the diet roller coaster 38 years. And for so long, I just lived in this automatic brain. And, coming out of that and becoming more aware and being really in tune with my body has changed everything and also changing my thinking. So today we're going to talk about the power of the pause. We're going to talk about it in a few different ways. But it is powerful. And, we have this beautiful brain of ours and we have a thinking brain, which is awesome. But we only use that part of our brain, probably less than 5% of the time. Most of our days are just automatic. We're just in our automatic habit brain, or we're in Lizzie, the, fight, flight, or freeze brain. And so, it's just, again, when we can come into that thinking brain, it's so powerful. So today, Jenn, we might have some new listeners out there. So do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, ladies. My name is Jenn Taylor. I am a Transform Boss weight loss coach. I've been coaching for, I believe, 2 years now. It's amazing. I love that I get to do this as my job. Um, you know, it's just a dream job and I have to pinch myself. But yes, I live in Utah. I am married with two boys and just doing all the things.
Yeah, that's so fun. Yeah, Jenn has been a coach now for 2 years. She's been in Transform Boss. I don't know. Is it been 3 years? A little over.
Uh-huh. It'll
Yeah,
in
yeah.
February will be 3 years.
Oh, 3 years. Okay. Yeah, yeah. And I love Jen's journey and I love how she helps our clients and all of our ladies. And I think she's a really special human. And, we're lucky. I'm lucky to know her for sure. So today, let's get into the show. Let's talk about the power of the pause. I think there's a book out there on the power of the pause, maybe. I don't think I've read it, but I just love the term, the power of the pause, POP, because I think we get in our automatic brains so much that, we just are mindlessly eating. We are, storm eating, which I'm going to introduce in a future episode where we're just binging and we're just eating all the things and we are so disconnected. And we do this in many areas of our lives where we're just kind of mindless. We're just watching TV, we're scrolling, watching reels. Or I think TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, ladies. I know. Maybe one day. I mean, I think I have a thing there, but I've never, because I went on TikTok one day and I was just like watching the videos. And 2 hours later, I was like, oh, I can't do this. I don't have time to be on TikTok. Like, oh my gosh, like you can just get like swooped up in it. I'm sure there's like some sort of mind. I don't know what's that called where they like take over your mind. I think TikTok maybe. So, we live in this kind of automatic brain. And so the power of the pause is about coming into awareness. And I think the easiest way to come into awareness is to either take a breath or ask yourself a question. And when you are aware of your breath, right, you're breathing all the time. But when you're intentional and you take a deep breath, it can just, again, bring you into that awareness. And then when you're in awareness, you can then just, pause for a second. I think about this when it comes to reacting. And, so often we're just reacting, right? Whatever's happening, right? Because so much, again, we're in that like automatic brain. And so, something, our spouse does something or our kids or work employer, whatever. And we just react to it because we don't take that moment to just kind of pause. And we live in a very fast, I think if I know anything, even as I get older, I'm watching the younger generations, attention spans are 3 seconds. People are just reacting. They're just, and I think this, especially in the time that we live right now, just taking a breath and just coming into that awareness and taking that time to pause helps get you into the thinking brain. So then you can make the decision. Ladies, we're always in control. We're always making decisions. It's just, are we doing it from our thinking brain or are we doing it from our habit brain? Our habit brain are just our old habits. And a lot of those habits were created when, and maybe they were just transferred from society or, how you were raised, things that happened to you when you were younger. So anytime you can get into that thinking brain, it just brings you, a little closer, I think, to the current version of yourself today. So I want to pause there, Jenn, and just get your take on when you hear power of the pause. How have you seen it in your own life or even with your clients? How has it helped them?
Yeah, I love the power of the pause. Actually, I just used it last night.
Ooh.
Um, both my boys are in baseball, and so between all the practices and that, it gets quite busy. And so we ate earlier last night, dinner than I normally would. I came home and I just had this craving for like this urge for like something sweet or something else, probably because Shannon and I talked about this a little bit, the power of pause. And I was like, you know what? Am I actually hungry? Like, why do I want this? And going into that place of asking myself questions and checking in. One of my favorite questions to ask also when it comes to me wanting to take an action and I know I'm being more reactive is this going to move me closer to my goals or further from my
Mhm.
goals? And I just love that question because it
Mhm.
takes the emotion out of it for me and really streamlines what will this action do for me or against me. And I went to bed last night just fine, woke up just fine. Nobody died without a little treat at night. And I love, Shannon, that you said too in relationships, right? We can be
Mhm.
reactive in our relationships. And I think just it really, whether it's with food or relationships, taking this moment to pause before we make a decision or before we react really allows us to take our power back and just
Mhm.
decide intentionally how we want to show up, how we want to respond, and allows us to really manage our thoughts and see like, is this a Lizzie thought or is this like the truth, right?
Yeah, yeah. I love that you said that. I mean, I loved all of that. And so I don't want to forget, but I want to talk about the truth in a second. But I loved that question that you asked yourself because I think it's such a powerful question, right? Like, is this for me or is this against me? So many times our brain wants to go with, the world and people against us and all this. But let me just tell you, from my experience, our own worst critic, the person who's going against us the most usually is us. And I know like it's so hard for us to think that because we want to love ourselves. We want to care for ourselves. But I find that, even myself, this power of the pause coming into this awareness is so that I can decide what is the best decision for myself right now? It's a really powerful question, Jenn. And I love it because, again, I just think we do so many things that are against our own selves. We eat behind our own backs. We, make decisions in the moment versus what our future goals and dreams are. And ladies, I just want to tell you, this isn't so that you can beat yourself up or judge yourself. This is so important. It's just telling yourself the truth. So I'm going to come right to this because for many years, I didn't want to tell myself the truth. I didn't want to tell myself what was happening. I didn't want to see it. I just wanted to live again in this automatic brain. And so I either would go from beating myself up, you're worthless, you can't do anything, you're never going to lose the weight, or just back in my habit brain, just, on automatic, eating all the things. And I want to tell you, there's like this other way. And it's about just being honest with yourself and being love and kind. So I can tell myself the truth, Shannon, I know you want to eat this right now. So here's the truth. You're not physically hungry. So do you want to eat the thing? You can, but here's the truth. You're not physically hungry right now. So what do you want to do? Again, I can be honest with myself without beating myself up, oh, see, I told you you were going to do this, all that nonsense. Then just like, here's the truth. The truth is I'm always in control. The truth is I make the decisions. No one's force feeding me. I mean, I'm pretty sure as adult women, no one's like, I mean, when we were kids, right? I used to have to sit at the table for a long time till I finished that dinner. But as adult women, most of us, we are choosing to eat or to not. And so this is just important because when we can tell ourselves the truth without judgment, without all the nonsense, all the BS, all the beat downs, and we can just say, look, here's the decision. Here's the truth. Then we can make it. And when we add in just that breath, that pause, it's so powerful because then you're in that thinking brain and you can make the best decisions for yourself. Jenn, when I talk about like telling yourself the truth, and what do you think? Like, what comes up for you?
I swear you just know my mind so well, because as you were saying that, Shannon once said, I think it was at one of our Unstoppable events, when it comes to relationships and we get reactive with people when they say something, taking that moment, right? This moment of pause to ask ourselves, like, is there some truth to that?
Mm,
And that has always stuck with me. And I think it goes right along with this power of pause, right? So when somebody says something and you find yourself becoming reactive, or even maybe reactive to your own thought or own action, just taking a moment and pausing and
mm,
shining a light on the truth, like Shannon said, without judgment. It
yeah.
just gives you back that accountability, and it allows you to be back in the driver's seat as you always were, but just remind yourself and then just make that next best decision
Mm,
as to what you want to do, right?
yeah. Ooh, I love that. So here's our take, ladies. Use the power of the pause. Just, pop POP in your brain and be like, okay, I'm going to take a breath. So do that. That's number one. And number two, tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself the truth. This is my decision. I am in control. I'm just not hungry right now for it. And I'm going to be okay if I don't eat it. When we whine to ourselves that we're not going to be okay. But as Jen said in her example of last night, she's okay. She's okay without the extra snack. She wasn't hungry for it. So, one, power of the pause, take a breath. Two, just tell yourself the truth. And three, do it with love and kindness. And four, take and make your next best decision. Just, decide what is the best thing for me right now. You don't have to go into the past. You don't have to make it mean anything. Just what's my next best action? What can I do for myself today? It's good. And ladies, if you want to take this work deeper, I just invite you to come and join Jen and I in Transform Boss Weight Loss. It is the best membership program out there. If you want to change your life and your weight and you want to go deeper in this work, it's based on coaching, course, and the most amazing community. Then come join us. It's jointransformboss.com. And we can't wait to see you on the inside for sure. All right. Bye for now. Thank you, Jen.